It's Monday morning, 27th of October, and I just thought I'd give you an update on my colours. I'm not going to have enough, I don't think. I'm up to the third brioche stripe, and it's in the black and the blue. I think I'll have enough of the blue, but the black, I'm not going to have enough. I was using the Pepin 4, and what is it, 180 metres per 50 grams. So I had 100 grams, 360 metres. So I was a bit short with that one, but I do have a bit of the black mohair left. So I'm thinking if I can't finish the brioche with the black, I might just double up the black mohair to finish that. The other one I'm short on is that's all I've got of the purple. I think that was a plucky knitter. I do have a full skein, but I really don't want to break in to a full skein just for a few grams. And this one is running low as well. That was the skip rope yarn, which when I looked at the tags for those, on Ravelry it says it's 400 metres, but I think it's actually 400 yards. Yeah, so 366 metres. So all my yarns were a little bit short to start with, but yeah, I don't want to break into any new skeins. I probably should have stopped after the second brioche, but I did end up getting my little scale out to start weighing things. But yeah, I'm just going to have to make it work somehow. Like I said, I'll double up the mohair, and I'm thinking for the I-cord bind off, I might just do a mishmash with what I've got, doubling mohair and using bits and pieces of everything. Okay, we'll see how we go. Wish me luck. Hi everyone, how you going? It's Christine from Yarn About Yarn, and I'm thinking it must be about a week since that last little clip about me playing Yarn Chicken, and I did. I was planning on going into a bit of talking about what I thought about Clue 3, Clue 4, whatever, but the MusiKAL's been over for a while now, and there's been lots of other podcasters and people talking about it, so I won't go into all that. It's taken me a while to come back. I finished either later on that Monday or the Tuesday, but we've had a lot of rain and really horrible weather, so I didn't get it blocked, and I wanted to have it all blocked so I could show you. You may have seen my Instagram where I showed it blocking on the clothesline, which is what I do here. Like, it's Australia, it's summer. These MusiKAL shawls are usually massive. So what I did was I pegged out the top of it. And then where the little curves are at the bottom, the scalloped edges, I put some more pegs on those to weigh it down. So if you haven't seen that, go over to my Instagram and have a look at the reel that I did about that. But yeah, I was showing you that I was running out of yarn. This is what I have left. My mohairs, I've still got a fair bit of the mohair left. I did end up having to use that in the brioche because I just did not have enough of the black to get another row or two in. And my other colours, so you can see, I really just, basically used everything I had. I ended up doing the 3 brioche stripes on the bottom, and I probably, I was going to say I probably shouldn't have, but you can see the last one is a bit shorter, and that's because I just was running out of this to pop along the bottom, and I wanted to make sure I had enough of the colour, of any of the colours, to do the I-cord edging. So I think he said you needed 12 grams for the bottom, and I was weighing my yarn just to make sure I had enough. Anyway, I will show you what it looks like. Enough chatting. But here it is. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm so glad I made this one. I don't know whether I will ever wear it. It's so big and squishy, and it's going to be really warm, but it's just glorious. I haven't tried to style it, so usually with these these ones, I just wrap them around and then work out what I'm going to do with it. But I've seen so many people like just styling it so nicely with, you know, the scallopy wavy bits at the front and then sort of the other way, so that you're getting that more graphic, the more graphic shapes across the front there. But yeah, like it's just lovely. And a whole heap of new techniques and surprises. Like no one could have guessed where this was going when we started. So lots of fun. If you've never done one of Stephen's MusiKALs, I highly recommend it. I did a couple back in the early days. I think I did the Doodler, which I didn't like. And I started, was it the Mild Magic, which I didn't finish because I just wasn't liking. And there was another one. Maybe it was Squiggle and Pop. But I think a lot of those, thinking back, had to do with my colours. Doodler, I just didn't like the shape. But the other two, it was my colours. So I sort of learned a lesson with this year's. Like, just pick colours that are going to be fun to knit. But yeah, like you can see how drapey it is. When I blocked it, I've seen people blocking things and they'll set a timer and, you know, block for 15 minutes or something. I don't do that. I'm too impatient to do that. But I don't know whether there's any need. I just pop it in with some, I think it's soak that I'm using. Just some tepid water, like body temperature water with a little bit of soak. And whatever I'm blocking, I just put it in for a few minutes. Sort of give it a squeeze to sort of get the air bubbles out and get the water through all the fibres. But once it's relaxed in that little hot bubble bath for a couple of minutes, then I take it out. This one I popped in, and after a couple of minutes, the water was starting to go pink, which I think this had some excess dye. I was a bit worried it might have run into the lighter sections because there are a couple of like little undyed sections in that pink, but it didn't spread. It was just the excess dye, just a little bit of excess dye coming off. And it only takes a little bit for the water to start to change colour. But yeah, so I didn't leave it in there for that long. Squeezed out excess water, rolled it in a towel that I sort of stood on a couple of times. So it wasn't dripping wet when I put it on the line. Otherwise it probably would have, you know, it'd be 6 foot deep by now. So it wasn't dripping wet. And then I just pegged probably the intervals like that, just so it wasn't sagging in between. And then these sections I had 3 or 4 pegs on the bottom just to give that a bit of weight, because it was just sort of flipping up when there was nothing on it. Just a bit of weight on the bottom. And it's blocked out beautifully. I'm not real happy about my joins around my scallops, and I was thinking about going back and doing something with those to tighten them up a bit, but I don't think I could be bothered. And the reality is, like, when it's around your neck, no one's going to see that. So, yeah, that's the MusiKAL, Stephen West MusiKAL for 2025. And as I said on my Instagram, it's a wrap, literally. So, yep. I don't know if anyone's going to be doing the Hyber knit along. It's not something I do. As I've said a million times, I don't wear the shawls that often. And it looks lovely. It has a lot of elements I've noticed from this one popped into it, which is fun. And it might be one that people who don't do the mystery knit along but have liked bits and pieces of this will then go and do the Hyber knit along. So have a look at that if you haven't seen it yet. It's not a mystery, and I think it's a December knit along, but you can see the finished shawl out now. So yeah, that's it. I was going to talk about some of what else I've been working on, but I think I'll leave that to the next one. I will tell you though that I was reconsidering some of my whips. I don't know whether you've seen my whip. I don't know what I'd call it. Where I looked at all my whips a couple of videos ago. I think I had about 14 or 15. I have actually cast something on and nearly finished it. I've cast 2 things on, nearly finished one since then. So I'll talk about those next time. I've also frogged a couple of things.
I frogged my half and half wrap, which was the striped garter wrap, I think it was called. I really don't know how people knit multiples of those. Like, yeah, I think it would have been lovely, and I would have used it more as like a, like I use a pashmina on an aeroplane. I like to take one when I fly, and that's what I intended the half and half wrap to be, but I'm just not going to, I don't reach for it to finish it, and there's still a lot of knitting to go. I wasn't even halfway yet. And I looked, and I cast that project on about 3 years ago, so I thought, I'm not going to finish it for a long time, so I frogged it. The other one I frogged was I think it was called the Bee Shadow Shawl, which was from Jamo Designs, who's now Skein Machine. And it's an illusion. It was an illusion knitting, big triangle shawl wrap with a bee in the illusion knitting on the back of it. And I just wasn't reaching for that either. I just didn't enjoy knitting it. I was doing it in, one of the yarns was a Bendigo Classic, and it's not my favourite yarn. It's a crepe construction. It's not my favourite yarn to knit with. So I frogged that one as well. And that Bendigo, I've got a bit of the 8-ply Classic, but it's great for like charity knitting, kids knits, because it is machine washable, and it's quite a, it's not a scratchy wool, and it's not a coarse wool. I was going to say tough, but it's not. It's sturdy, like it stands up. I think it would stand up to kids wear. So I've got a bit of that, just oddballs that I've sort of put aside for, you know, making kids jumpers and any charity knits and things like that. So I've just added that to my Bendigo Woolen Mill stash. Yeah, so I frogged those two. I do have some that are of my whips that are nearly finished. So I'm sort of hoping to have a, you know, end of year rush. But we'll see. There's so many things I want to cast on. So many things that I've had. I'm looking up there because I have a cork board where I've pinned. I took a little, I'll show you, like little Polaroid shots of my whips so I could just see how many I had. So that's my Kumo, which I'm not enjoying knitting either, and that's why it's taken so long, but it's nearly finished. But I've also got I've taken screenshots of things that I want to knit, just to remind me that I have yarn put aside for them. So yeah, I've got quite a few things that I want to get done, but I really want to get some more whips off the my whip pile first. Ideally, I'd probably like, I think 5 would be manageable. I hear people talking about 3 whips, like, you know, a small project like a sock, and then a jumper, a sweater, and then, you know, a blanket. I don't really mind what my whips are as long as I'm enjoying them, but I don't know. I've sort of come up with the idea that 5 might be a nice number, but we'll see. It's funny, like I don't think of myself as a monogamous knitter, and I don't mind having all the whips, but at the moment I'm probably working on 1, possibly 2 of my whips. I think I'm trying to get them finished, and that's why I'm concentrating, being more monogamous. So it'll be interesting what happens when I do get them down, if I have a Maya to cast on party and end up with 14 again. But yeah, we'll see. I think that's about it. So let me know whether you finished your MusiKAL. Really liking it. Oh, I don't think I spoke about my I-cord. I would have preferred a single colour I-cord. And I was nearly going to order another little 50 gram of the black to finish that brioche and to do an all black I-cord. But I just thought the all black I-cord might be a bit heavy. But I had the 2 colours from Skip Rope yarn, which was the pinky colour and the bluey green colour. And I just did the 2 colour stripe, which because this pink is quite variable throughout the skein, like sometimes it looked quite sugary is the word that comes to mind. I liked it when it had the black zebra stripes through it and was a deeper colour. But yeah, so that was all along the bottom. just in those two colours, which I don't know whether it goes with the rest of my shawl, but that's what it is. I suppose it harks back to this, blends in with that, I suppose. So yeah, that's it, all done. And even though there were a lot of ends on this shawl, most of them were able to be hidden in I-cords and welts, so that was good. There wasn't much actual weaving in of ends to be done. But that's it. I also want to thank everybody. I have had quite a few new subscribers because of the MusiKAL, I'd say. And I hope you do stick around for a while. I understand if you don't find what I'm talking about entertaining and worth your time here. But I hope you do stick around, and I appreciate you being here through the MusiKAL and for following along. I've put all the MusiKAL videos into a playlist, so if you've missed any, they'll be there as a playlist together, and last year's are all in another playlist. And hopefully I'll be back for next year and we'll do it all again. But yeah, hope you stick around. I was doing monthly videos where I'd pop in at the end of the month with a bit of a roundup, but I think I'll just see what I've got. Like if I finish some of my whips in the next week or two, I'll be back. But yeah, otherwise it'll be end of month type of roundup. Anyway, I'll chat to you next time. Any links for where you can find me and getting in touch are in the description below. But I'm Yarn About Yarn pretty much everywhere online. Although I did find somebody who's going by the name Yarns About Yarn. So, and she's a mostly crocheter, and I think she's in the States. So just keep an eye out for that if you're sort of thinking, oh, that doesn't look like Christine. But yeah, so I'm Yarn About Yarn. And I'll chat to you next time. Bye.